I sat in the corner seat, chair too cold under me, wood pressing hard against my back. My coffee sat untouched, steam already fading into air, and my hands wouldn't stop shaking no matter how tight I wrapped them around the cup. The whole cafe felt loud. Laughter, clinking glass, smell of roasted beans. But all I saw, all I heard was him. He stood just a few steps away like fate played cruel game, speaking with others, smiling soft like nothing ever broke. My chest hurt. My lungs felt too small. I tried not to stare, but my eyes betrayed me again and again. Finding him between crowd, searching like a lost animal. When his gaze finally brushed against mine, I froze. I thought maybe he would remember. Maybe just his eyes could soften. Maybe lips whisper my name like before. I waited. God, I waited with every piece of me trembling. And then he moved his mouth, shaped one word that cut sharper than any blade. Stranger. It landed inside me like winter rain down bare skin. Cold, brutal, heart-cracking, soundless in my chest. I swear in that moment the air grew heavier, pressing against ribs, choking me until I could barely swallow. I looked away too quick, too weak to keep holding that gaze. My fingers gripped cup tighter, as if coffee could hide me, as if bitter taste might stop pain. But when I brought cup near lips, what touched my tongue was not warmth. It was salt. My own tears, mixing with everything I tried to hide. No mark burned on my neck. No bond pulled cruel from inside. Just silence, thicker than smoke, crueler than blade. My body screamed his name though my lips stayed sealed. Every nerve remembered him, begged for him, but I stayed still. Still as broken glass on floor, pretending I could bear it. I lowered my head, breathing shallow, hoping no one see. Hoping he not see. My body betrayed me anyway. My scent trembled free, sharp bitter trace leaking into air. Longing, shame, ache. I could never cage. I pressed cup harder against my mouth, pretending to sip, hiding behind fake calm. Inside I was shaking, bleeding invisible wounds. The sound of his voice carried again, easy, warm, talking with others like nothing ever happened. Every syllable stabbed deeper. How cruel to be erased so clean. I whispered inside myself, I am nothing to him now. Nothing. But heart refused truth. Heart still beat like wild animal. Still remembered every night he once called me his. I wanted to vanish. I wanted to scream. But all I did was sit in that corner, coffee cooling, hands trembling, pretending I was fine, pretending pain not eating me alive. Then my mistake. I looked again. My eyes lifted without my will. His profile caught in soft cafe light. The shape of his jaw, the curve of his mouth, when he smiled faint at someone else's words. My breath broke sharp in throat. I shouldn't have remembered, but I did. Memory slammed me, his hand holding mine under same golden light scent wrapping me whole, voice low and rough saying my name like it was prayer. I remembered how safe it felt, how whole. And now same place, same man, same light, yet I sat alone. Nothing but a stranger to him. I bit down on lip until I tasted blood, sharp copper mixing with salt of tears. Anything to keep myself silent. Anything to stop words that wanted to rise. Words like, why? And how can you forget me? My chest pulled tight, body shaking small, invisible to all but me. People walked around, laughter spilling, chairs scraping floor. For them, cafe was warm, safe. For me, it was battlefield. Every sound too sharp, every second too long. My pulse refused to calm. Heavy beat echoing inside ears. I wanted to leave, to run before his scent could reach me, before his shadow could swallow me. But legs heavy like stone, refusing to move. I was trapped not by crowd, not by chair, but by my own heart that still chained me to him. And then it happened. Subtle at first, cruel after. His scent, sharp cedar, dark spice, storm that once belonged to me. It slipped through air, broke through coffee and vanilla and sugar, straight into me. My body stiffened, breath catching like drowning. That scent, even after all this time, it knew me. Heat prickled across my skin, shame burning my face. My lungs ached, pulling in more even when I tried to resist. He called me stranger, Yet his scent still claimed me like no one else could. I clenched my fists under table, nails digging deep, trying to stop myself from leaning, from shaking, from showing. But inside, storm already awake. I told myself, don't look again. Don't move. Don't break. But I knew I was already broken. Already burning. Already his, even if he never called me anything but stranger again. I forced my lips to curve, small and weak, a smile that never reached my eyes. I wanted to hide, to bury every crack in my chest under mask of calm. My face burned, my throat dry, but still I smiled. If I let even one tear fall, the whole world would see me bleed. So I carved that fake curve on my mouth, pretending I was fine, pretending I was not dying inside. His voice still floated through the café, soft, careless, each syllable breaking against my ears like shards of glass. It cut deep, sharp enough to leave scars inside me. I tried to breathe slow, tried to tell myself it was nothing, but every word he spoke twisted further, digging into old wounds I thought I buried long ago. I am nothing to him now. Nothing. I repeated those words again and again inside my head, as if maybe if I said it enough, my heart would finally believe. But heart is stupid. Heart still remembers nights of fire, mornings of warmth, his scent pulling me close until I couldn't breathe without him. My chest didn't listen, my body didn't listen. My scent betrayed me first. It trembled free, sharp trace of bitter longing slipping out no matter how tight I clenched myself shut. Sweet ache mixed with shame. The kind of scent that exposes weakness, that screams loneliness. I panicked, pressing cup harder against my lips, as if bitter coffee could drown it, as if porcelain edge could stop truth from spilling into air. But it was there, around me, inside me. The cafe was full of people, chairs scraping, spoons stirring sugar, laughter spilling too loud. But to me, all that noise was empty. I only heard one word, the word he gave me, the one that erased everything we had. Strange. That word wouldn't leave me. It echoed inside, cruel again and again. Stranger, stranger, stranger. I bit down on the inside of my cheek until iron taste filled my mouth. It was better than tears, better than letting my breath break loud enough for him to hear. Pain in flesh was easier than pain in soul. I tilted my head, staring into the cup, pretending to sip. The liquid was cold now, bitter, heavy, but I forced it down. I swallowed, again and again, until I almost choked. I told myself it was only coffee, but it wasn't. It was the pain I pushed deeper, down to where no one could see, no one could reach. It tasted like blood. I could feel my pulse in my throat, heavy, uneven. My palms were wet against ceramic. I wanted to stand up, to walk out, but my legs had no strength. My body felt frozen, bound invisible to that corner, forced to sit while my insides tore apart. My scent betrayed me again, shaky waves I couldn't hold back, wrapping me in humiliation. I wanted to hide under the table, cover myself, but there was no escape. Maybe others couldn't notice. Maybe crowd too loud, too busy. But I knew. I could smell myself. The mix of longing and shame, it was unbearable. I hated it. I hated me. And still, part of me hoped he would catch it. That maybe his head would turn. Maybe he would recognize it was me. Maybe even for 1 second he would remember. That thought alone made my chest clench tighter, made guilt burn through me. Don't hope. I whispered inside. Don't hope anymore. But heart doesn't listen. I tried to distract myself, staring at lights hanging from ceiling, at posters on wall, at sugar spilled on floor. But every time my eyes wandered, they betrayed me, searching for him, finding his outline through crowd, his shoulders, the way he leaned closer when he spoke, the small curve at corner of his mouth. Things no one else would notice. But I did, because I once touched, once tasted, once belonged. Now I was nothing. Stranger. My chest pulled tight until I almost couldn't breathe. My stomach twisted, heavy with words I couldn't say. I wanted to stand, to scream his name, to demand, why? But instead, I stayed quiet, silent Omega in corner seat, hands trembling against a coffee cup that felt too heavy. I swallowed again, forcing down everything, my tears, my pride, my scent, my heart. It all pressed into silence. locked behind lips that trembled. No one knew. Not the crowd laughing around me. Not the people brushing past my chair. Not him, standing there with voice so calm, so untouched. No one knew how much I was bleeding inside. No one knew how much of me was breaking. No one but me. And still, I smiled. Weak, fake curve on lips holding mask until it hurt. Because if mask fell, if anyone saw, I might never rise again. Memories never listen. They come like storm breaking through no matter how hard I close my eyes. No matter how much I try to bury them. One moment I sit here, coffee cold in my hand, air heavy with his rejection. And the next, I am pulled back into that night when his hand held mine. It was the same cafe light above us, golden and warm, soft glow falling on his skin, on mine. I can still feel the weight of his fingers lacing through mine, strong but trembling, as if even he was afraid of what he felt. His palm was warm, his scent stronger than, wrapping me whole until I could not breathe without drowning in him. Cedar, spice, dark storm, dangerous but addicting. That night it was not just scent, it was promise. It curled into my lungs, into my blood, until I thought I could never survive without it. I remember how his laugh melted walls I built for years. That soft sound, low and rough at the same time, made me weak. I wanted to be strong, wanted to keep my heart safe, but his voice slipped through every crack. And then he whispered my name. Not loud, not careless. He whispered like prayer, like he was worshiping me, like I was the only one in the world that mattered. I believed him. Full heart believed every word, every touch, every breath. Mine, he once said in darkness, voice pressed against my ear, lips brushing my skin. I shiver even now, remembering the way he used to look at me, eyes heavy burning, making me feel chosen. Not just Omega, not just weak body and trembling scent. He made me feel like I was rare, like I was treasure only he could guard. I let myself believe. I let myself fall. My scent back then was sweet, calm, no shame. It bloomed for him, answered to him. I remember how he leaned into it, how his shoulders relaxed, how his heartbeat slowed when he buried his face in my neck. His breath warm, steady, mixing with mine, as if we shared the same air. I thought it was bond. I thought it was forever. Now sitting here under the same golden light, the memory burns like fire through my ribs. How easy for him to stand there and pretend. Pretend we never touched, never held, never whispered in dark when world was asleep. Pretend we never shared heat so fierce it made us bleed. Bodies trembling, souls bound in silence. I remember the way his hands shook the first time he touched me, the way his lips tasted of salt and want. Nights when we burned together until dawn, tangled, scars and kisses mixing until I could not tell where I ended and he began. That was real. That was more real than anything. And yet here he is laughing, voice calm, eyes cold, as if none of it happened. How easy for him, how cruel for me. My heart twists, cruel knot of longing and rage. I want to hate him. I want to erase every memory. But they come, storm after storm, each sharper than last. I see his smile when he traced lines on my back. I hear his breath when he whispered, "Don't leave." I feel his scent flooding me, calming my trembling, holding me whole. And now, the same scent drifts from across the cafe, familiar, unbearable. It mixes with coffee, with sugar, with air, but I know it. My body knows it. Even when my mind screams to forget, it reaches me, fills me, claws inside me, until I cannot breathe. My throat burns. My chest breaks. He looks so calm now, so collected, as if he never lay broken against me, begging for my touch. I wonder if he even remembers. Maybe for him it was nothing. Maybe for him it was only night, only heat, only moment. But for me it was everything. I whisper inside, "Why?" But no answer comes. Only silence. Only crowd noise that feels too far, too fake. I hold my chest, hand pressed hard as if I can keep pieces together. But it hurts. Every beat hurts. Memories press like thorns against my skin, digging deeper. I look down, pretending again to sip coffee. My lips tremble. My eyes sting. I tell myself, don't cry here, don't break here. But inside, I am already breaking. I see flashes. His shadow over me, his hand holding me against wall. Voice rough with need. Eyes dark with obsession. Nights we bled for each other. Breaths ragged. Hearts wild. I thought it meant something. I thought I meant something. Now all that weight falls on me alone. He dropped it, walked away, erased it clean. I am left with storm of memory, drowning in it, while he smiles at someone else. The sound of his laugh cuts through air again, and I almost choke on it. Once that laugh was mine. Once that scent was mine. Once that voice called me not stranger but love. I close my eyes, forcing air in, forcing tears back. My nails dig against palm, sharp sting reminding me I am still here, still breathing, even if barely. But the past won't leave. It presses closer, whispering in every corner of me. His promises, his touches, his scent. It won't stop. It won't let me go. And he stands there, pretending. How easy for him. How cruel for me. Even when his back turned, he did not leave me. His presence clung to air, heavy, stubborn, refusing to fade. I told myself not to look, not to feel, but body is traitor. My ears caught rhythm of his steps even through crowd noise. Steady, sharp. A sound I had memorized once long ago in nights when he walked across wooden floor to reach me. My eyes betrayed me too, tracing the way his shoulders shifted when he moved. The curve of his spine under fabric. Every detail, small but cruel, pulled me deeper. I lowered my head, but still I knew. He was near. Too near. My lungs fought for breath, shallow and desperate, like I was drowning in invisible sea. Each inhale dragged through me rough and uneven. I wanted to run. I wanted to vanish. But inside I waited like fool for the inevitable. And then it happened. Sharp, undeniable. His scent, it cut through roasted coffee. Sweet vanilla, even perfume of strangers. Stronger, heavier, darker. Cedar, spice, storm. I froze instantly, every nerve in my body snapping alive. My hand around the cup went stiff, fingers pressing hard until I thought ceramic might crack. Heat prickled across my skin, slow burn rising up my neck, down my chest, crawling under layers of fabric. My body reacted before mind could stop it. Muscles tensed, pulse ran wild, and inside, something answered. Old bond or not, my soul answered. I hated myself for it. I hated the way chest lifted too sharp, dragging in more of him when I should turn away. I hated the way stomach twisted, heat blooming low, shame curling inside me like poison. I bit my lip hard, teeth sinking, until I tasted faint copper. Anything to anchor me, anything to stop the tremor in my hands, to stop the longing already leaking out in waves of scent. Bittersweet ache I couldn't cage, no matter how much I tried to press it back. Don't move. I told myself again and again. Don't turn, don't reveal. But body did not listen. His nearness made me alive in ways I had tried to kill for years. My shoulders shook slightly, chest rising and falling too fast. Inside, fire started again. Slow, painful, hungry. I remembered nights when same scent wrapped me whole, when I buried face against his throat just to breathe him deeper, when I clung to him until dawn because it felt like home. My body remembered it all, and memory bled into present until I couldn't separate them anymore. I pressed cup against lips again, trembling. My reflection shook in dark liquid. My eyes too wide, too broken. I looked like ghost, like ruin. Around me, people laughed. Someone spilled sugar, glass clinked, music soft in background. But none of it touched me. My world narrowed down to one thing only. Him. His scent was storm, flooding every corner of me. My hands shook harder, almost spilling coffee. I put it down too rough, porcelain hitting table edge with small sound. I froze, afraid he might hear, afraid he might look. My chest pounded so hard it hurt. I whispered inside, don't let him see, don't let him know. But deep down, part of me wanted opposite. Part of me wanted his eyes to turn, to meet mine again, to see I was burning, to know I was still his no matter what he said. I closed my eyes tight for a second, trying to fight it, but his scent only grew stronger, filling lungs, weaving through veins until I felt dizzy. My body leaned slightly forward without my will, as if searching for more, as if begging. Shame burned hotter than heat. My cheeks stung, breath ragged, and I bit lip harder to keep sound trapped. I wanted to stand, to leave, to escape this fire. But legs were stone, heavy, bound by invisible chain that smelled like him. Stop, I whispered low. Barely breath to myself, not to him. Stop, but fire did not stop. Inside, obsession stirred again, old hunger rising from ashes I thought long cold. His presence lingered, wrapped me, consumed me until I could not remember who I was without him. And still I sat there trembling, silent, burning alive in corner seat of crowded café, while scent of him drowned me whole. His scent hit me like storm-breaking sky. It wasn't gentle, it wasn't soft. It was cedar, sharp, grounding, mixed with dark spice that lingered on tongue even without taste. It was dangerous, cruel comfort, something that once made me feel safe but now burned holes through every wall I tried to build. It crashed into me before I could prepare, drowning me whole, my chest locked, throat tightening until each breath felt like swallowing glass. I coughed once into my palm, trying to steady, but it only drew more of him in. More cedar, more fire, more him. I swore to myself, I swore countless times, I would forget. I promised my own heart I would never go back to those nights, to that weakness. But scent has no mercy. It dragged me back, cruel and heavy, into shadows of nights I tried to bury. Nights when I lay against him, heat binding us until skin felt too tight. Nights when his breath pressed hot against my ear, when his hands clutched like chains, when his voice whispered things that made my soul tremble. Mine, he once breathed. And I believed. Now, sitting under cafe light, memory burned alive again. Too bright, too raw, my stomach twisted, heat curling low, shame spreading fast into my cheeks. I lowered my head, afraid someone would see, afraid he would see. I hated myself. I hated the way my body still answered him, still opened like door long locked but never sealed. He called me stranger, but body remembered. My skin remembered his touch, my scent remembered his claim. My bones remembered his weight. Every nerve whispered, "He is yours." Every heartbeat echoed, "You are his." But mine screamed louder, desperate, frantic. No. No more. No more pain. Don't go back. Don't break again. My fists clenched under table, nails biting deep into skin until crescent marks stung. I held breath, chest trembling, shoulders shaking. Still, scent refused to leave. It wrapped me like chain, pulled me like leash. I whispered low, barely breath. Stop. But storm did not stop. It grew heavier, thicker, filling lungs until I thought I might choke. I pressed lips tight, but a whimper almost escaped. My legs shook faintly under chair, heat spreading through veins. I shifted slightly, trying to hide, but shame burned hotter, unbearable. I wanted to run, to escape, but body wouldn't listen. Body wanted more. Body begged silently, shamefully, to breathe him deeper. Tears pressed at corner of my eyes, not from sadness alone, but from rage against myself. How could I still want what broke me? How could I crave scent of alpha who erased me with one cruel word? I closed my eyes tight, but it made things worse. Behind lids, his image came alive, sweat dripping down his temple, lips against my neck, voice rough, saying words no stranger should ever say. I gasped softly, chest rising too quick, heart running wild like hunted animal. I bit my lip until blood spread, metallic taste anchoring me back. My mind begged, no more, no more. But scent mocked me, filled me again, until body burned with need. I shifted chair slightly, trying to hide trembling hands. My cup sat forgotten, coffee untouched, but porcelain edge still carried marks of my grip. I clung to it like lifeline, though it gave no help. The cafe felt too warm now, air too heavy. Laughter around me turned distant, blurred. I heard only him, his steps, his breath, his silence, his presence crushing me. I lowered head further, hair falling to hide my face. My cheeks burned red, my throat raw. I whispered inside, "Don't let him see. Don't let anyone see." But scent betrayed me louder than words ever could. Bittersweet waves of mine leaked into air. Longing and shame mixed, impossible to cover. I wanted to die in that moment. I wanted floor to open, to swallow me whole. Still, part of me whispered, maybe he will notice. Maybe he will remember. I hated that thought more than anything. I pressed hand flat against chest, heartbeat too wild under palm. My breath came shallow, uneven, but I couldn't stop. My body betrayed me in every way possible. His scent refused to let me breathe free. It wanted me to remember, and I did. Every night, every touch, every promise he broke. All of it came back, burning alive inside me, while he stood not far and I sat here, ruined, trembling, chained by memory and scent I could never escape. I didn't mean to look. My head lifted on its own, as if pulled by invisible chain, and when I did, his eyes were already there, already on me, locked, heavy. Time broke in that moment. The cafe was still full, chairs scraping, spoons stirring, laughter floating, but all of it blurred, faded. There was no one else. Only us. Only his stare, sharp and unbearable. My chest rose too fast, breath shallow and uneven, betraying me loud in silence. My hands trembled where they rested on table, and I pressed them harder into wood, trying to stop shaking. It didn't work. My body betrayed me in every way. He looked at me like years had not passed, like scars had not formed, like the word stranger never left his mouth. His gaze carried weight, too much weight, pressing me down until I couldn't move. In it I saw flicker, recognition, regret. Something like hunger. Or maybe I only imagined it. Maybe I was desperate, clinging to anything but indifference. My throat ached, dry, but no voice came out. My lips parted, faint, useless, trembling. I wanted to ask why. I wanted to say his name, but nothing left me. He was storm, standing steady in his shadow. I was ruin, cracking under every second his eyes stayed on me. Heat spread across my skin, crawling slow but deep, shame mixing with longing until I couldn't separate them. My legs felt heavy, stone tied to bone, refusing to move though every instinct screamed, run. I lowered my gaze for one heartbeat, but it didn't free me. His stare dragged me back up, forcing me to meet him again. My chest tightened, my scent trembled, weak waves of bittersweet longing escaping into air. I tried to cage it, tried to press it back, but it slipped anyway, shame curling around me like fog. His eyes darkened when it reached him. I saw it, a change too small for others, but I always knew his expressions. Even when he hid them, for moments silence stretched sharp between us, heavier than any word could ever be. I thought if someone touched me then, I would shatter. Glass under fire, fragile, breaking with only stare. Why? I whispered, barely sound, voice lost under cafe noise. But I knew he heard. His shoulders stiffened, his lips pressed thin. My breath caught, sharp. My chest ached so deep I pressed palm against it, as if I could hold pieces together. His eyes didn't move from mine. Memory slammed in again. The way those same eyes once looked down at me in dark, fierce and wild, filled with hunger that marked me whole. The way they softened when he whispered my name. The way they burned when he said mine. And now, same eyes, same storm. But everything broken. I wanted to turn away, to hide my face, but I couldn't. My body leaned forward instead. Foolish, like it was still bound to him, still chained by invisible thread. My lips trembled again. No words, just silence. His hand shifted faint, like he almost moved, like he almost reached. My breath stopped entirely. Hope stabbed cruel through me, sharp, painful, but he didn't move further. He stayed where he was, only his eyes across the crowd, holding me still. I thought of screaming, of standing, of demanding answers, but fear wrapped me tight. Fear of truth, fear of lies, fear of hearing his voice call me stranger again. So I stayed silent. The world around us blurred, melted into nothing. Coffee scent, laughter, footsteps, all gone. Only his storm and my ruin. I broke first. My gaze dropped, tears burning at edge of lashes. My hands shook harder, pressed tight against table. My chest collapsed in on itself, breath rushing out too fast. But even with eyes lowered, I still felt his stare, heavy, possessive, unforgiving. I whispered again, this time only inside, why can't you let me go? But my body knew answer, because even if he never spoke, never touched. His presence already owned me. His eyes reminded me. His scent bound me. His silence destroyed me. And still, I couldn't look away for long. My head lifted again, helpless, searching him like addict, needing just one more proof I was not invisible. When our eyes met once more, I knew it was not over. Not for him. Not for me. Why? Why after all this time, his scent still control me? Why his eyes still command me like no one else ever could? I told myself again and again I healed. I swore I buried everything, locked it deep where even I could not reach. But healing is lie. Wounds do not vanish. They only sleep quiet until storm comes and wakes them cruel. And he was storm. He always was. The pull between us. It was not mark, not bond. No scar on skin tied me to him anymore. Yet something deeper, crueler clung to me, invisible thread pulling at ribs, at breath, at soul. I could not name it. Obsession? Curse? Maybe both. My chest throbbed heavy as I tried to steady breath, but every inhale brought him closer. His scent seeped through me, dragging old nights into present. My skin tingled. My throat tightened. My body betrayed me, leaning slightly forward like remembering how to follow him without thought. I hated it. I hated him. I hated myself more, because even knowing he destroyed me once, even remembering every word that broke me, every silence that cut sharper than knives, part of me still begged for touch again, begged for voice close to ear, low and rough, begged for heat pressing into skin until I forgot everything else. Shame burned, hotter than fire. It spread across my cheeks, down my neck, wrapping me in red I could not hide. My hands gripped edge of table tight, nails digging hard until skin stung. Still longing overpowered hate, I whispered inside. Don't want him. Don't need him. But heart laughed cruel, reminding me of nights I curled into his chest, his arms iron around me, his breath steady against my hair. Nights when I felt safe, even if safety was lie. Nights when I was his and he was mine. If only for a moment. Why? My lips moved without voice, trembling. Why do I still want him? Why can't I burn him out of me? I bit my lip hard, sharp sting of blood spreading metallic on tongue. Maybe pain could save me. Maybe it could drown out hunger clawing inside. But no, pain only mixed with want, twisting deeper, darker. I lifted eyes again against my will. He was still there, his gaze heavy, unblinking, storm pressing against me even without touch. My lungs stuttered. My chest ached. His eyes commanded me same way they did years ago, when he pinned me against wall, when he whispered words that chained me whole. My legs trembled under chair. Part of me wanted to run, to escape before I fell again. But another part, louder, begged me to stay, to let him come, to let him close, to let his scent swallow me whole again. Want and hate tangled inside, tearing me apart piece by piece. I hated how much I still wanted, hated how much I still burned, but I couldn't deny it. I wanted his voice near my ear again, whispering rough, dangerous words that belonged only to me. I wanted his hand on my skin, hot, steady, claiming. I wanted to drown again, even knowing it would kill me. I dropped my face into hands, covering eyes, hiding tears threatening to fall. My breath shook hard, body trembling too much to stop. I whispered against palms, I can't, but even as I said it, my body leaned forward again, betraying truth. I was still his, and no lie, no hate, no shame could change that. The pull of past was stronger than me, stronger than years, stronger than pain, and it dragged me back into him. Whether I wanted or not, I lowered my head, hiding behind curtain of my own hair, praying no one see the truth carved across my face. But his scent still clung to me, wrapping around chest like iron chains, pulling tighter until I could hardly breathe. Every inhale dragged him in deeper, until I felt caged inside ribs that burned like fire. My pulse thundered loud in ears, rushing fast through veins, making skin feel too hot, too fragile. My hands pressed flat against table, fingers digging into wood like I could anchor myself, like I could stop myself from falling apart. Don't cry here. Don't break here. I whispered it to myself, mouth trembling against the words. My voice too low to be heard by anyone, not even him. But inside I was already breaking. Pieces of me falling into dark silent where one could. That one word stranger kept replaying again and again. Cruel echo bouncing in skull, stabbing through heart. Stranger, stranger, stranger. He once called me his everything. He once whispered against my skin that I was the only one, the only name he would ever breathe in silence. Now, with one word he erased it all. Now stranger. How easy hearts change. How easy promises vanish like smoke. My throat burned, tears pressing sharp at corners of eyes. But I forced them down, swallowing them like poison. I could not cry here. Not in front of him. Not in front of people who would never understand what it meant to bleed this way. I wanted to scream. I wanted to stand and throw words at him. Words sharp enough to cut to make him bleed like me. I wanted to hit him, fists against chest that once held me safe. Now nothing but cage for lies. I wanted to beg, to fall to knees, to ask him why he left, why he forgot, why he erased me. All of it at once. Rage, hate, love, longing, shame tangled inside me, twisting until I thought I would choke on it. But I stayed still, silent omega in crowd, face lowered, body trembling quiet. No one noticed. People laughed. Cups clinked. Life went on around me as if my world was not shattering. I drowned quietly, unseen, unhurt. My nails bit into palms, sharp sting bringing faint blood, metallic taste almost imagined in mouth. Pain small but real. At least pain was something I could control, something I could own. Unlike him, unlike my heart. The word kept circling, pressing harder. Stranger, stranger. My breath hitched, shallow and broken. My chest ached so much it felt like ribs would crack. I remembered his arms around me, remembered warmth of his scent filling me whole, remembered him whispering, mine. And now, this, now nothing. I bit lip until copper spread. Tears blurred vision, but I refused to let them fall. I sat stiff, silent, drowning inside where no one could see. Don't. I breathed low, voice breaking. Don't cry. Don't break. But I was already broken. Inside nothing held me together anymore. Then impossible. He moved, one step, then another. Slow, steady, cruel. His tall frame cut through crowd like wave and sea, people shifting unconsciously to give him way. I couldn't breathe. My chest froze tight, lungs refusing air, heart slamming against ribs so loud it was all I could hear. Step by step, closer. Each sound of his shoes against floor struck deep inside me, sharp, unbearable. I gripped the edge of table until knuckles burned white, but still my body shook, trembling too much to hide. I wanted to run. God, I wanted to stand, to vanish, to escape before storm swallowed me whole again. But legs heavy stone. They didn't move, couldn't move. His shadow reached me first, long and dark, stretching across table, swallowing the faint golden light that barely held me together. Then his presence, thicker, heavier, pressing down until every nerve in me screamed. I lifted my eyes, slow, unwilling, and there he was. His face calm mask, but his eyes carried storm. Behind that stillness, something burned. Recognition, regret, hunger. I didn't know, I couldn't name it. But it was there, sharp and wild, tearing through silence. I forgot how to breathe. My lips parted faint, trembling, air catching in throat. No words. Nothing. Just broken soundless gasp. And then scent. His scent hit me stronger, too strong, cedar and dark spice flooding air, crashing over me until my body bent under weight of it. It was cruel, almost violent, pulling me back into him, tearing open scars I thought I closed. My veins burned, heat crawling under skin, shame twisting low in stomach. I clenched fists under table, nails sinking hard into flesh. But body betrayed anyway. I leaned. Small, weak, but enough. I leaned slightly toward him, like old memory of belonging still alive inside bones. No, I screamed inside. Don't go back. But body remembered, heart remembered, soul remembered. Around us, café still loud. People laughed. Spoons clinked. Music played soft. But I heard nothing. World gone mute, empty except for sound of my heartbeat. Wild, lost, desperate. I stared at him, throat dry, words trapped sharp behind tongue. Why? My lips shaped but no sound came. His eyes never left mine. Heavy, burning, pressing until I thought I might shatter under it. He didn't speak, not one word. Silence stretched sharp between us, more cruel than any rejection. Still he stood there. Storm, and I sat, ruin. My lips trembled harder, chest heaving shallow. I wanted to beg, to curse, to scream, but voice locked inside. Only breath escaped, broken and small. I hated myself in that moment. Hated how much I still wanted him. Hated how even silence from him felt like claim. His hand twitched once, almost like he would reach for me. My heart stopped. For single breath, hope stabbed cruel inside, sharp enough to kill. But hand fell still again, resting by his side. He didn't move further. He didn't speak. He only stood, shadow over me, scent binding me, eyes holding me still. And I, silent omega, burned alive under weight of him, breaking all over again. Without single word spoken, silence stretched sharp between us, cutting like blade pressed too close to skin. Not sound, not word, only weight heavy enough to crush ribs. I wanted him to speak. Anything. Explain, lie, wound, heal. Anything but this. Anything but silence that stripped me bare and left me trembling in front of him. His eyes studied me. Dark, heavy, unreadable. They dragged over my face, my trembling hands, the curve of my shoulders drawn tight against chair. Every nerve inside me screamed under that gaze. Every breath shallow, uneven. My chest burned, ache pressing deep into bone, heat curling low and cruel. I whispered inside, say it. Say something. End me or save me. But don't stand there silent. But his lips stayed sealed. I could hear his breath, low, steady, brushing against air between us. Too close, too sharp. And then he moved, just slightly. His lips parted as if words would finally come, as if voice would cut through this unbearable stillness. I held my breath, chest locking, heart rising too fast into throat, but nothing came. No word, no sound. Only his breath, warm and heavy, brushing close enough that I felt it ghost across my skin even with crowd between us. Only his scent, stronger than ever, wrapping thick around me, binding me like rope, drowning me in storm I could never escape. I shut my eyes for single second, just one, letting it wash over me, hating myself for it, hating the way I leaned into it, even in silence, even in shame. My body answered him still. My heart knelt for him still. And when I opened eyes again, he was still there, still staring, storm burning inside his gaze, enough to break me, enough to burn me. I bit down on lip, copper filling mouth, but it didn't stop trembling. My hands shook harder against table, nails scratching faint against wood. Why? My voice slipped out, broken. Almost nothing. Why still here? His gaze darkened, but no answer came. His silence was louder than words, heavier than chains. I wanted to scream. I wanted to reach and shake him until his voice broke free. I wanted to beg, say you hate me. Say you regret. Say you never want me again. Just don't stand there silent. Don't bind me with eyes alone. But he didn't. He only stood towering shadow against me, storm chained tight behind lips that refused to move. His presence suffocated. His scent clung, his silence destroyed. My chest rose too fast, shallow breath trembling. My body shook under invisible weight, and still, I couldn't move, couldn't stand, couldn't run. My legs heavy, heart heavier, chained to him by thread too cruel to cut. Please, I whispered low, not even knowing if plea was for him to leave or to come closer. Not knowing which one I feared more. His lips pressed shut again. His jaw tightened faint. And his eyes never let me go. I felt myself breaking again. Cracks spreading deeper than before. I hated him for it. I hated me more. And yet, deep inside, fire rose again. Quiet at first, then stronger. Not gentle, not warm, but burning, obsessive, desperate. I knew then this was not end. This was beginning. Story not ended. Pain was only starting. And so was fire.